Meanwhile, we are awaiting policy decisions out of Washington. How would a new stimulus package and potential capital gains tax cut impact the market? Let's bring in Chris Krueger from Cowen Washington Research Group, who joins us by phone. Interesting, Chris, that the president did float the idea of cutting capital gains. He can't do that unilaterally, can he? What are the options here?
Well, I mean, we're pretty short on details and long on aspiration. We're assuming this is the idea that's been around since the George H.W. Bush administration, which would index capital gains to inflation. To be clear, as with a lot of these economic executive orders, it's mainly foam and very little beer. It's not like, a magic wand you wave and bing, 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 you have economic stimulus.
Chris, I mean, as we look at the current economic environment, particularly the way that the stock market has rebounded, the economy has not, and the sort of imbalance there, not to mention the fact that government debt levels have soared and eventually have to be paid for one way or another, you could make quite a clear case for why certain taxes, particularly capital gains on stocks, for example, should be going up. Do you think it's impossible ahead of this election for anybody to articulate that they want to put any taxes up?
I think on the president's focus on capital gains, given the sort of upside down distributional effects of that action in the midst of a recession, make this somewhat mystifying from a political messaging standpoint. You also, though, contrast that with Joe Biden's tax plan calling for $4 trillion in increases. So you have a pretty clear distinction between the two candidates right now.
So where do the stimulus talks stand now that the president has passed the executive orders? And what exactly is on the table in terms of unemployment benefits, either from the president's own orders or from what could actually get through Congress?
Yeah, so, unfortunately, the talks are sort of in a purgatory right now. Pretty much all of Congress is gone. You have the key stakeholders still in Washington willing to negotiate, but we've blown through the two sort of we're off the ledges of two fiscal cliffs, both the second round of PPP as well as that $600 weekly unemployment insurance check which expired July 31. So really the next deadline, if you don't count the conventions, which begin next week, isn't until October 1st when the fiscal year begins anew and you need a bill to prevent a government shutdown. The momentum from this on the Republican side really, stepped back after that June jobs report. I think a few more, Thursday unemployment claims could bring this back. At the end of the day, we're talking about what we've been talking, though, since we passed phase 3. It's going to be some type of liability shield, more money to states, another round of stimulus checks, more money for testing. It's not a terribly complicated bill. You just sort of have to meet in between, pick a number, and send more money out the door.